So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 3 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover today includes a new PSN update that'll help a lot of people. The PlayStation Vita 2 has supposedly leaked, and I've made a concept as to what it could look like based off the description, and the DualSense Edge got a recent update. First, yes or no, have you bought the DualSense Edge or not? I've had mine since day one and have not regretted getting the thing. I've enjoyed it a lot, especially when playing factions, but that's just me. What about you guys? So comment below yes or no if you bought the DualSense Edge controller or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Next up. Now diving into the first story of the video, the DualSense Edge update news. Reading from Push Square, following a series of software updates across Apple's range of devices, the PlayStation 5's DualSense Edge controller now works with them. The regular DualSense has been compatible with iPhones and company for a good while, and now its premium stablemate is joining the fray. Support for DualSense Edge is just one patch note in the latest updates on Apple's devices. Update to iOS 16.4, iPad OS 16.4, Mac OS Ventura 13.3, and or TV OS 16.4, and you'll be able to hook up your swanky pad via Bluetooth connection. You can use DualSense and DualSense Edge on Apple's devices to play your PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 games via remote play, or to play compatible games natively on your iPhone, iPad, or Mac. Now, for me, you guys already know I play mobile games, so this is solid news for me, but I personally use the Backbone PlayStation Edition controller that's pretty much in my bag always when I travel, so I can use it for remote play with my PlayStation 5, cloud streaming with xCloud, or of course to play many of these mobile games from Apple Arcade, which again, I've said before, is a good deal. The one thing for the DualSense Edge is, does it support all the buttons and customizations on iOS like it does on PlayStation 5? Obviously not one-to-one, but does it support those buttons, to be able to use them? I'm not really sure. I'll try it out and probably provide an update on that on Twitter, on my Twitter account, which is at TCMF2. If you're not following over there, I'll probably give an update maybe later today. Now diving into the second story of the video, new PSN update now live. Reading from Polygon, the PlayStation Store will begin featuring accessibility tags on its PlayStation 5 titles this week, Sony said on Monday. The tags will highlight options for players that accommodate visual and audio accessibility, online communication, and other options. Players can inspect a title's accessibility options by pressing the triangle button on the game's product page. Sony said there are more than 50 different tags describing accessibility features broken down into 6 categories: visual, audio, subtitles, control, gameplay, and online communication. Sony said several of its first-party games for PlayStation 5 will support these accessibility tags when the feature rolls out later this week. Those include Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and both Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. So this update is pretty much live now. I tested it this morning, and it's there for Ghost of Tsushima. And I've noticed that it also shows you the count difference of accessibility tags between the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of the game as well. This is a solid update, obviously, to help more gamers find the games they want to play that also have the assistive features that help them enjoy the game as well. Honestly, some of those assistive features help most players as well, like text transcription, difficulty settings, puzzle solution settings, etc. But you guys let me know if you've finished Ghost of Tsushima already or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, the PlayStation Vita 2 has leaked. So this whole thing is actually multiple stories at this point in a short amount of time. So let's dive into the pieces here. Tom Henderson, who's known for leaking the DualSense Edge controller, came out to reveal that Sony was working on new hardware that will release sometime before the PlayStation 5 Pro, which according to him is currently set to release sometime in late 2024. He didn't provide any real specifics on the hardware, but the internet, of course, went wild with it in terms of what it could be, and the thing most people landed on is a new handheld entry from PlayStation. The last handheld they released was, of course, the PlayStation Vita, which launched all the way back in 2011, I believe, about 12 years ago, come later this year. We had Jeff Grubb come out recently discussing the topic as well, saying, "I am traveling to Super Nintendo World, but I see the reports about a potential PlayStation Vita 2, and I would definitely scope down those expectations. I've only ever heard about a cloud streaming handheld. So after reading this, a lot of the internet was pretty much disappointed because they wanted an actual handheld console, something along the lines of a Steam Deck, considering how powerful mobile chips are nowadays. This brings us to this morning where Tom Henderson revealed his exclusive report. Reading from Insider Gaming, following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report that there is a new PlayStation handheld in development, codenamed the Q Lite. The next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. Sporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 FPS, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, early prototypes show that the console will look a lot like a PlayStation 5 controller, but with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. The device sports adaptive triggers / haptic feedback and will include what you would expect from a handheld: volume button, speakers, and audio input jack, etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is in its QA phase and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and after the detachable disk drive PlayStation 5. So when I read this, I was kind of disappointed. This is not what we wanted. This is not what I personally wanted. But I will say remote play is more stable than cloud streaming currently, from my experience, considering you have a whole PlayStation 5 dedicated to just you, as opposed to a server rack allowing you a VM and streaming from servers along with everyone else. Also, this thing seems to want to replace the current Vita, which I think in Sony's eyes is their current remote play handheld for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. But going back to this new handheld, let's take it for what it is and look into what we have here. The system has an 8-inch 1080p LCD and supports 60 FPS. This is combined with adaptive streaming, which essentially just means that the resolution will upscale and downscale depending on your internet connection, so you don't feel lag. 1080p honestly is perfect for mobile gaming, so that's fine there. 60 FPS support is great as well to see. Adaptive triggers is great, and haptic feedback is also great as well. Now it just comes down to the price. What is this DualSense slapped with an LCD screen going to cost? I think it should be, personally, $150 maximum $150. It's a DualSense controller, which is $70, and an LCD screen, which honestly can't be that much. Add on to that Sony's markup to make profit off of these things, and I think $150 is a decent price. The Logitech G is a cloud streaming device, and that thing costs $350. If anyone at Sony is watching this, or anyone related to anybody that has somebody working at Sony, if you want to have this thing be a flop, then follow the Logitech G. Go price it at a high expensive price. If you want to give this thing maybe even just a chance, considering it's just a remote play device, price it accordingly. $150 max or cheaper. It's a DualSense controller with a touchscreen. But you guys let me know what price would make you consider buying this thing. $150 cheaper. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. As it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with the big show is coming. This upcoming PlayStation showcase has the potential to be one of the biggest events we've personally seen in a long time. So many PlayStation first party games that have been quiet for so long. The PlayStation 5 detachable disk drive, potentially this new handheld PlayStation device, unless that comes out later on. Regardless, there seems to be a lot in the works at PlayStation, and we could see a good chunk of it at this upcoming showcase. If you're excited for that, destroy the comment section with the big show is coming, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.